Surf's up, guys. It's Mauisnake here, and this is the perfect time to sign up for Pickstop. I'm going to tell you why. Because sometimes it's a little bit daunting when you queue up a Pickstop for Cologne or for Katowice, and you have to do the play-in stage, and you have to do the group stage, and then you have to do the playoffs. But this is the time you should just do it. Just sign up. There are 387 submissions right now. My community, or my league that is, has 856 signups. I want this to be 1,000. I want to get to 1,000. I know that there are going to be enough of you that watch this video, enough unique viewers that can bump this up to 1,000. So join, because this is the time when it's going to be the most fun and easiest, where you don't have to just wade through picking through every stage. Just make your bracket and let's do it. All right, so we're going to go through these teams as we always do, and I'm barely even going to talk about this one. Heroic Falcons. This is Heroic all day. Heroic are huge chokers. They're choke artists, but they don't get falconed. They're not going to get falconed, okay? Apex Gamer Legion, this is actually an interesting matchup because both of these teams have kind of fallen off in a way from what they did at the Major because they just got picked apart for some of their better pieces. And to me, I actually think that Apex should be doing a little bit better, but they've actually lost some things online lately that make me a little bit concerned. However, even though they're losing officials online, I think that's actually good practice for them, whereas Gamer Legion hasn't played anything. They had a better showing at Cologne, losing to Cloud9 in overtime on map 3, which would have got them to the playoffs, but I actually think that Apex, going back to what worked for them before by just grinding online events, is probably actually going to come out better for it, so I'm going to be picking Apex in this one. We're going to make this 2-1. And I'm just not sure. I think these teams are both kind of developing their map pool with their new teams a bit here. I actually think that this is one where I think this is, to me, is the most 50-50 of all of the first round matchups. That's the most 50-50. So if you go in a different direction on that one, I wouldn't blame you. Cloud9 Fnatic, I'm not even going to talk about that. Like what? This Cloud9 team has so much firepower now that Axel's playing, and sure, Fnatic beat them before when Cloud9 were using Buster. That sent them to the lower bracket, but that was Buster. That was Buster. All right, now Cloud9 have Axile, and it's all day. Liquid Ents. I'm easily going to be picking Ents in this one. Liquid just haven't found it yet. They don't have that juice yet. Yukindar still has a ways to go as an in-game leader. Rainwaker's a solid piece, but I've talked about my gripes with Liquid before, where I just think that this team right now is it's almost like an incubation period for Yukindar to just get better and to level up as an in-game leader, because they are clearly putting faith into him, but they're surrounding him with pieces that might be a work in progress before the CS2 major rolls around. And the fact that there's really no big tournaments by the time that major comes, it's pretty hard to think that maybe, I mean, there's going to probably be like a Katowice before it, perhaps, maybe, but beyond that, why not use this time if you're Liquid to just kind of see what needs to change in order to become a really competitive roster in, say, 6 months' time. FaZe VP, I'm gonna coin a term that a lot of I myself have fallen victim to, and it's underdog bait. This game has underdog bait written all over it, because what everybody wants to do is they want to be clever about when to pick the underdog and when to think that, oh, this will be a little cheeky one here, right here, because FaZe has been looking bad lately. They've been looking well beneath they should. And VP is a team where we know what damage this team can do. We know that VP can come out of nowhere, just basically like doing God knows what, and then they can just smoke the best teams in the world. And I'm going to tell you right now, I'm taking the underdog bait. I'm taking it. FaZe should win. FaZe are the favorites. If I were on the desk, I would propose to everybody, FaZe are the favorites for this one. But I'm taking the underdog bait. I think VP are going to come out of absolutely nowhere and just destroy FaZe. They're going to clock them. There's like no real reason for that either. I just think that they're a team that's weirdly undervalued right now, because we know this team can do serious damage, and they also have a strong vision for how they want to play Counter-Strike via Jame, whereas Harrigan seems to have lost his vision in what's been going on lately with this team. The team itself just seems to be floundering as a unit. Like, their trade percentages are terrible, FaZe, and I just don't really have too much hope for them. 9G2, 9 are just onliners. That's just what it is. Until they prove to me that they can beat a serious team on LAN, I'm going to pick G2 all day. There's no reason to even explain that one further. Navi Furia. Furia also has just been like grasping for straws. They have been just flopping online. They lost to 500 recently. I mean, 500 is not a terrible team, but this Furia team is well beneath what we hoped for when we saw the roster move for them. So I'm going to be picking Na'Vi in this one. I think this is actually a very lopsided one, even though people might think that Furia have upset potential. I would say that moniker has more or less vanished. I don't see Furia with upset potential for some time. I think that they're going to need a month or two to figure out what style of Counter-Strike they want to play and how to activate their star players once again. MIBR Vitality, this is like the poor man's version of the last matchup between Na'Vi Furia. In terms of their Vitality is better than Na'Vi, MIBR is worse than Furia, and so you should just get a game that's even more lopsided than the last one. Heroic Apex, this is also just heroic all day. I have no reason to believe that Apex is good enough to beat a team like Heroic on LAN. And I also think that, yes. We know that Heroic can fall apart on big stages. I don't think that gamers8 is a big stage. It's much more relaxed environment. It's kind of a funky tournament that is weirdly cutthroat because it's single limb, but for a team like Heroic, they just get it done. And I almost feel like Heroic are going to see this entire tournament as group stage 8. They're just going to feel like it's a group stage, and they have a big chance to win this one. Cloud9 ends. I love this matchup. I pray that we get it, because I think this is going to be one of the first great tests for Cloud9 once they've gotten a few more reps in with Axile on LAN. And so I think that there's a very, very strong case to believe in Cloud9 here, because the firepower it blows ENCE out of the water. If you want to go position by position, there's no spot where ENCE should be better here. Perfecto is better than Modern. Electronic is better than Snappy. Shiro is better than Sunpius. Axile is better than, I guess you'd say Deha, or you'd say Nerds. But yeah, they just got him covered. They just simply got him covered. And I'm going to go with Cloud9 here. I think this is going to be the first big LAN victory for Cloud9. I'm going to do 2-1 though. I'm not really sure if I'm confident yet in Cloud9's map pool, but I do think that over the course of a series, they're going to get this one done. I do think that's a little bit worrying because ENCE banned Inferno, and Cloud9 would probably want to play that. So I do think that there's definitely potential for ENCE, and I think that I'm falling into a trap that a lot of people will, where we're going to start underrating ENCE for really no reason, even though ENCE has shown us nothing but a grand final finish at Cologne and also a grand finals victory in Dallas. Like, I don't know why anybody would pick Cloud9 here when they've proven nothing, but sometimes you just got to trust your gut. VP G2, I'm going G2 on this one all day. I think it's going to be a fluky win for VP if they beat FaZe. And also, it's one of those things where you should just pick G2 because FaZe could beat VP there, and you'd want to just probably work with, in kind of the logic of playing a pickems, you do just want to pick the team that you think is the more sure thing to even be there. Na'Vi Vitality, also going to be... this one's a little bit tricky. You got Simple versus Zywoo, but in terms of the supporting cast, I would be taking Vitality in this one 2-1. Let's do 2-1 there. G2 Vitality, this is sick, but I'm going to go G2. I just think that G2 have the potential... Now that I say it, I'm almost not sure. I'm not sure now. God. Tough. You know, you see me working through this live. Although it is a recorded video. It's a video on demand. This is YouTube. Vitality. I'm going to be going Vitality in this one because I something about G2 right now, just the interview from Nico was so bad after they won Cologne, where he says that we don't even care if we lose in Riyadh. He said that. He literally said that. And I was like, Nico, there's $1 million prize pool here. Just win. Just keep winning. Oh, God. No, I don't know. I just think that actually if you go piece for piece, there's a lot of reasons you should actually think Vitality would take this one. But it's just one of those things where is G2 as a whole hotter than Zywoo as an individual? And I think that actually... they could do it. I think G2 can do it. Actually, we're going to go back to G2. We're flippy-floppy here, but we're going to actually give the most fun grand finals I could have possibly crafted, and I'm actually going to say Cloud9 just keep getting better, baby. Cloud9 keep getting better, and Cloud9 versus G2 grand finals. This is a really interesting one. I will want Cloud9 to win this so badly because I have so much faith in this roster, but not here. Not today. Not today. G2 are going to win this 2-1. It's going to be a bloodbath. There's going to be fireworks. I think that this is going to be an incredibly exciting tournament, and I'm going to submit my bracket like this. I'm like, this one's tough because there's no second. That's it. If you get one wrong early enough in this bracket, you're just totally wrong. Like, you can, I would say that the variance on this one is going to be really high. I think that this is a funny one just because what if someone picked FaZe to go deep or something, and then FaZe beats G2? You could just be so wrong on this one. And also Heroic could just make it out of the other side of the bracket, or ENCE could. Like, if I'm being serious about teams that should win this tournament, it's Heroic, it's ENCE, it's G2, it's Vitality. Cloud9 shouldn't even be in the grand finals, if we're being honest. But I also think that there's a shot for them. And I think one thing that is also fun to think about, if you watched my previous video, is that I'm also thinking of the outright odds a little bit and how Pinnacle pinned these teams to actually perform at this. They had Heroic as the A+ tier team. They had Vitality as the other team that was second most likely to win this in terms of outright odds. Behind them were ENCE, G2, Cloud9. So those are the teams that Pinnacle really believed in. I think FaZe slipped down to the C tier with VP. And so beyond that, you just really wouldn't consider anybody there. I think Navi was in the C tier also, but then everybody else was pretty distant after that. And so I'm putting like 2 B tier teams by my last grading in the grand finals here, but I just think that anything can really happen at this tournament. And I'm going to just kind of go with a slightly more known quantity for G2 as opposed to Cloud9, where I want to believe, you know what? Screw it. What the hell, man? Like, if I'm going this deep on it, why don't I just go all the way? Like, what if I get, you know what? I'm not gonna get a 2-0. Yeah, I just did that. I'm not gonna get a platinum by, what is it? What do you get? You get a diamond. I'm not gonna get a diamond by picking G2. Yeah, I'm not gonna get a diamond picking G2. So why not just try to go for diamond with the Cloud9 all the way? All right, let's do it. You guys just watch me convince myself to pick Cloud9 to win all of gamers8. It's getting crazy up in here, guys. It's getting crazy. Yeah. There's going to be signature moments and cultural impact after this event. As always, being toxic is a choice.